This video is brought to you by Ridge Wallet, a slim front pocket wallet available in carbon fiber and titanium. With more than 250,000 sold, a lifetime guarantee and free shipping, get 10% off with the code GOLDFISH at ridgewallet.com. Hello everyone, it's Seth, probably better known as Saffron Olive, and it's time for another Instant Deck Tech. So as you know, Monday means it's Modern Monday here in Instant Deck Tech land, and this week we are checking out another M19 influence deck. So since M19 released, Spirits have been getting a lot of hype in Modern because they got a new 2-mana Lord. However, everyone seems to be forgetting that Spirits are not the only tribe to get a 2-mana Lord. Elves got one too in Elvish Clancaller, which means going Beatdown with Elves suddenly got a lot more appealing because the tribe just has so many powerful lords. So today we are checking out Beatdown Elves. It comes to us from Digital Drummer, who took it to a 5-0 finish in a competitive Modern League on Magic Online. So congrats to Digital Drummer on a super sweet deck. A quick reminder before we break down Beatdown Elves for Modern. If you enjoy this deck and you'll want to see it made into videos, take a minute, click the like button, the subscribe button, leave a comment, anything you can do to support your deck, because whichever deck is most popular gets a shot at being made into videos next week. Oh yeah, one last thing before we break down Beatdown Elves. As you can see, $200, $209 in paper, 86 ticks on Magic Online. So not quite budget by our definition, but in a modern format where $400, $500, $800, even over $1,000 is not uncommon for decks, $200 is a really reasonable price for a deck that's apparently fairly competitive since it just 5-0 to League. So I wanted to mention that as well. Anyway, let's break down Beatdown Elves. So Beatdown Elves starts with fast mana. So the idea of this deck is pretty simple. We are looking to empty our hand of elves as quickly as possible, hopefully beat down with those elves, buffing them with our lords, and killing our opponent really quickly. So to spew our hand, we have Elvish, Mystic, and Llanowar Elves starting off our curve, which essentially just lets us jump the curve. Instead of playing a 2-drop on turn 2, if we play one of these on turn 1, on turn 2 we can start playing 3 drops, and that's where a lot of our lords fit on the curve. So 1-drop Mana Dork into a 3-drop lord, really fast and scary start for the elf deck. We also have Heritage Druid, which is kind of like a really weird Mana Dork. If it's the only creature on the battlefield, just a 1/1 for 1. However, as long as we have 3 elves to tap, it basically turns all of those elves into Llanowar Elves, which lets us do some really cool tricks, especially with Nettle Sentinel. So if we want to just dump our hand at lightning speed, one of the scariest starts we can get in the deck is Heritage Druid, also Nettle Sentinel, or even multiple Nettle Sentinels, because what we can do is tap Heritage Druid, tap a Nettle Sentinel or 2 to make 3 mana, cast something from our hand, which is going to untap the Nettle Sentinel because it untaps whenever we cast a green spell, which means we can tap the Nettle Sentinel, whatever we just cast, and hopefully another creature. If we have 2 Nettle Sentinels, it's even crazier. Cast something else from our hand, untap it. So you don't really go infinite with mana, but if you can keep playing cheap green things, it kind of just lets you dump your hand really quickly. So the combination of Elvish, Mystic, Llanowar Elves as Mana Dorks, with Heritage Druid and hopefully Nettle Sentinel producing tons of mana, just lets us dump our hand very quickly. Before we get to our lords, we have one more card that's just good in our deck, and that is Dwinian's Elite. So Dwinian's Elite is really strong with our lords because it's putting 2 elves on the battlefield. As long as we control an elf, we're not only getting a 2/2 elf for 2, but it's coming along with a 1/1 green elf warrior token. So the thing about this card in our deck is, since we have so many lords, I believe we have 17 lords in our deck, which is just an absurd number of lords, we're not getting a 2/2 and a 1/1, we're getting a 3/3 and a 2/2, or maybe a 4/4 and a 3/3, or even a 5/5 and a 4/4. Basically, it just adds an absurd amount of power and toughness and multiple bodies to the battlefield since we have so many lords to buff it. So beyond our Mana Dorks and Dwinian's Elite, we have a parade of lords, starting with Elvish Clancaller, our new M19 Lord, and the upside of Elvish Clancaller is twofold. So number one, it is the only 2-mana Lord in Elves. All the other Elf Lords, while they have upsides, start at 3 mana, so Clancaller's a little bit cheaper. The other sweet thing is, we were just talking about how our deck makes tons of mana with our Heritage Druids and Llanowar Elves and Elvish Mystics. That means that we can actually activate Elvish Clancaller's ability of paying 6 to tutor up another copy, so it's basically an elf that if we have nothing nothing else going on, we can just spend all of our mana to find another lord, and then find another lord to just keep growing our team bigger, bigger, and bigger, until eventually we just have massive elves and can kill our opponent. Then we have a million 3-mana lords, and the nice thing about our 3-mana lords is every single one of them comes with an upside. So Elvish Champion pumps all of our elves, also gives them forest walk. We don't have a way to force our opponent to have a forest. However, if we're playing against a green deck, all of our elves suddenly become unblockable, and we can just swing through and kill our opponent Merfolk style really quickly. Elvish Archdruid is insane because it makes mana equal to the number of elves we control. So if we do something like Llanowar on turn 1, Elvish Archdruid on turn 2, when we untap on turn 3, we're going to have just a ton of mana. 2 from Archdruid, 1 from our Mana Dork, our lands. So we're just going to be able to dump our hand really quickly, plus it's pumping our elves. And then Imperious Perfect comes with the upside of being able to let us make 1/1 elf tokens. So if we have extra mana left over, we can just tap it, make an elf. Because of all our lords, it's not really a 1/1, it's a sneaky 1/1. It's really like a 2/2 or a 3/3 or a 4/4 since it's getting buffed so much, which makes it really insane. If we're paying 1 to tap it to make it like a 4/4, that's a very powerful effect on a lord. On the top end of our curve, we have 1 copy of Dwynnian Guiltleaf Dan. Kind of expensive. It does have reach, which I guess is nice. 4 mana makes it a little awkward compared to the rest of our lords. It is very good in aggro though, because along with pumping our elves, it makes it so whenever we attack with Dwynnian, we're able to gain a life for each attacking elf we control. So if we're playing against a deck like Burn, for example, or other aggro decks, that swing of 3, 4, 5 life each turn as we're swinging with all of our elves is a pretty nice way to stay out of the danger zone. Otherwise, Collected Company, we have a million creatures, we have a million lords, so chances are when we cast this, we're hopefully going to be getting 2 lords, 2 of our 3-mana lords, which is adding a ton of power and toughness to the battlefield at instant speed, messing up with combat if we play it at the right time, pumping our creatures, and just killing our opponent. It's just an extremely powerful spell in a deck with so many small creatures. Mana base wise, all forests, 19 forests, we can skimp on lands because we have all those early game mana producers, Llanowars and Elvish Mystics. In the sideboard, we get a couple more elves, so Essence Warden, really helpful in those aggro/burn matchups, gaining us a life whenever a creature enters the battlefield, basically the green Soul Warden. So kind of a weird choice, but the incidental life gain really good against decks like Burn. Reclamation Sage for artifacts and enchantments, Fracturing Gust, Creeping Corrosion to deal with decks like Affinity and Boggles, just getting rid of all the artifacts, maybe enchantments as well. For control matchups, we have Heroic Intervention to protect our team, Lead the Stampede to draw more elves. Because we have so many creatures in the deck, chances are we're getting at least like 3 cards with Lead the Stampede, 3 elves even, which is a pretty good deal for 3 mana. Dismember for a bit more removal, and then for combo matchups to slow our opponent down, Thorn of Amethyst just makes our opponents Stern Visions and Grape Shots and Ad Nauseams cost 1 more, really helpful there. And Damping Sphere kind of does the same thing while also hating on Tron, so just slowing our opponent down long enough that hopefully our elves can sneak in and get the win. And that is Beatdown Elves for Modern, and that's been our instant deck for today. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will talk to you soon. Thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, help us out by clicking that like button down below. And to keep up on all the latest and greatest, click that subscribe button. And don't forget to hit that bell icon to get alerts whenever we have new videos. And if you want to, check out some of our other sweet videos here and here.